Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today we are going to solve the problem reverse words in a given string. In this problem, we are given a string. The words in the string are separated by dots. We have to reverse the order of these words in this string. For example, much here comes last in the input and in the output it will come first. This problem is a fairly simple one, but it demonstrates the ability of reversing the string in a modular code. Also, if you code this in Java, it also demonstrates the immutability of the string and why reversing the string is not exactly same as reversing an array. We will solve this problem. We will not directly jump to the solution, but gradually build and reach to the solution. We discuss the questions of data structures and algorithms on this channel in simplest words with fundamental approach. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Let's start. To begin with, let's first note the key things down given in the question. We are given a string S. The words in the string are separated by dots. We have to reverse the order of the words, but we don't have to reverse the individual words. So if we consider this string as example input, our final output will look something like this. If we consider our solution as a black box, we are getting a string S as input and returning a string as an output. So what will our function signature look like? Our function signature will look something like this. Let us see how will we approach this problem in the simplest possible manner. So this is our input string and we have to convert this to this one. Now, the first thing that I can think of is that I will need to split this string by dots. So I can split this string by dots and I will get an array of strings, something like this. So we directly have a method in Java, string.split, which will split this string into an array of strings. Similarly, other languages would also have the similar method. Now, once I have this array, what do I need to do next? I just need to iterate in the reverse manner because I need to print the string in a reverse manner. And while iterating, I need to keep adding dots. So my overall approach looks like this. Now, what will be the time complexity of this approach? It will be big O of length of string. Space complexity will also be big O of length of string, but we will be using 2 times the length of string. One, we will need this array, and second, we will be making our result string, which will be by iterating over this array in reverse manner. However, it is possible that the interviewer says to not use the Java strings inbuilt split method. Then how will we approach this problem? Before moving to the second approach, let us again try to observe and visualize what is happening here. We are given this string. Now, this is not a clear-cut case of a direct string reversal. Direct reversal of the string would look something like this, which is not our output. But we can see at least one thing, that the characters of much are at their right places. Just jumbled, but the word much characters are at the right places. Similarly, characters for very are also at their right places. So here we can make an observation that if we have to translate this string to our desired output string, we only need to reverse the characters between the dots. For example, this will become very, this will become much, this will become program if we reverse the characters between the dots. So this is what our approach looks like. We first reverse the whole string and then we reverse the characters between dots. How do we reverse the characters between dots? We first mark the starting dot, we then mark the end dot, and then we reverse the characters here. Similarly, we go on marking starting and end dots and we go on reversing the characters and so on. But here is the thing. We can select the starting dot and end dot for all these middle words. But for the first word and for the last word, there is starting dot and end dot missing. So how do we solve this problem? we basically add these dots to start and end. Now we don't have to do a separate handling for first word and last word. This is a very common approach and especially used in case of string problems where we just modify the input very slightly, like adding a start letter or an end letter, so that we don't have to do a separate handling for the first and the last cases. But in the final result, we will take care that there is no initial dot and there is no end dot. Now we only need to take care of how do we reverse the string from position I to position j. This is a very common subproblem that we will get to use in multiple problems. In this subproblem, we are given a string as an input. Also, we are given I and j. We have to reverse the part of the string from I to j and return the reversed part as the answer. Now, how do we reverse a part of an array if it was an array? We would simply start from the two extremes. We will swap the two elements and then keep moving the pointers. But we cannot do this in case of string in Java. Why? Because in Java, strings are immutable. Once created, they cannot be modified. So what do we do here? Here we will have to first convert this string or the relevant part of the string into a character array, and then we will have to reverse that character array, and then we will have to use that character array to form a new string and return that. So what does our approach look like? We first get the relevant substring. Then for that substring, we convert that to an array of characters. For that too, there is a built-in function in string class. Similarly, for getting substring also, there is a built-in function in string class. So once we have this array of characters, we reverse this character array in the same manner that we would reverse any array. Then using this character array, we create a new string and return that as an answer. Let us now see how all of this comes together to solve our original problem. The algorithm for our original problem would look something like this. First of all, we will reverse the given whole string using the same method that we discussed in previous slide. Then we will get this string. Then we will add dots to start and end like we discussed earlier, so that our handling is similar for all the strings between the dots. And then we have to iterate. We have to iterate because we need to reverse the string between the dots. So what all will we have in every iteration? In every iteration, we will first get the start dot position. Let's say we get this one. Then we will have to get the end dot position for this. And we can get this simply by moving across the string till we get the first next dot. So we get the end dot position. Now we have a string between these two dots. So we will reverse the string between these two dots using the method that we discussed in previous slide. Then there will be an ongoing result string. So we will add this reversed part of substring to our ongoing result string, and finally we will return the result. The time complexity for this will be big O of length of string, and space complexity will also be big O of length of string. Let us now see the working code for the same algorithm that we just discussed. You can also find the link to this code in the description. So first of all, we reverse the whole string using a function reverse. How does this function work? We'll see later. Then in the reversed string, we add dots to start and end. Then we declare two pointers, I and j. I will track the starting dot and j will track the end dot for any substring that we will be reversing. Now we also declare an overall result string that is empty to begin with. Now we iterate. I or starting dot is right now at 0. And in every iteration we calculate j, which is the next dot position, using this function. How does this function work? We'll see in a minute. Then when we have got the two dots, we reverse the part of the string between these two dots using I plus 1, j minus 1. Why I plus 1 and j minus 1? Because we do not want the dots to be part of the reversed string. Now since we are excluding the dots, we add dot later in the end. And overall we add that to our result string. And then now for next iteration, our starting dot will be the one which has been the end dot for this iteration. So we update these pointers. And finally, we return our result string. We remove the last dot from the result string because we are adding an extra dot after getting the reversed string. Now let's see how does the method reverse work. In this method, we are getting a string and two pointers I and j. So first of all, we get the relevant substring. We are getting the relevant substring by calling the substring method I, j plus 1. One thing to note about the substring method is that its first argument is inclusive while the second argument is exclusive. What does that mean? That means the character at I will be considered for reversing while the character at this position will not be considered for reversing. Only the previous character till this position will be considered for reversing. Hence, we need to take care on how to get the relevant substring. Once we have got the relevant substring, we convert that to a character array. And now we know how to reverse elements in an array. We start by the two extremes, we loop, and in every iteration, we exchange the two extreme elements and then we move the two pointers towards one another. Finally, we create a new string using this array and then we return it. And how does the method next.position work? It takes the string s as an argument and I, which is the initial position, as also an argument. Then we loop till we find the next character as dot, and accordingly we return this pointer as the result. Let us now summarize what all we did. First of all, we understood the problem with the help of an example. We took the simplest approach. We split the string by dots, and then we got the array of strings. Now we just have to add these array of strings or concatenate these array of strings in the reverse order by adding dots in between. Then we looked at the second approach. This approach does not use the split method of string class that we used in first approach. In this approach, we basically first reverse the whole string and then our aim was to reverse the words between the dots. So our new subproblem became reversing the string from I to j. Now this is a very common subproblem. We cannot revert it in direct manner as we do it for array. Why? Because string is immutable in Java. So we first converted that to character array. We reversed that and then we created a new string using this character array and then we returned that. We wrote the algorithm for overall and we also did a code walkthrough for the same algorithm. This is it for this video. If you like our content, please subscribe our YouTube channel and Telegram channel. We'll meet again in the next video with some other problem. Thanks for watching.